Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be talking about the Vulcan to the Skies tribute pack that I did a while back. This is probably around a month, 2 months ago now that I've started this this particular thread or cause. I did actually do a video explaining what this whole thing is about. So if you're new to this and you haven't seen that video, I will put a link in the description below, and I'll also leave a link on the forum page that this video will be on. But if you're watching this, is a quick update video of what's been going on. As a lot of you are aware, the Vulcan to the Skies tribute pack is in the moderated suggestions. It's been passed to development now. So what does that mean? Well, if we look under most viewed here and click, it's at the top with over, I think, nearly 11,000 views now and probably 240-ish replies. So it's obviously got a lot of attention. Let's take a look in the actual thread itself. What does this mean? Well, first of all, the thread itself looks very nice. I spent a lot of time decking it out with graphics and stuff like that to get the point across. Now, scrolling down already, you've got quite a few replies. Unfortunately, we will not be going through 242 comments, but to the end, I want to show you something here. If we go right to the end, the page is actually locked now to replies, and it states locked and documented. Well, what does this actually mean? Well, what it means is that we've actually done something right for once. So what does that, me being, or saying that we've done something right, actually mean to you? Well, first of all, we've managed to get the Vulcan in a position, or the Vulcan tribute pack, in a position to that it could actually be considered. Now, normally, for a Vulcan, a lot of the threads say no, because it's technically out of the time period, unless we count prototypes. That would be allowed. But the Vulcan I'm talking about, the B2, entered service in 1956. So, if it entered in service into 1956, why am I suggesting it in game when the cutoff is technically 1953, excluding things like the Sabre F30 for the Japanese tech tree and the CL13? Well, quite clearly, I don't want it in as a regular aircraft. Now, a lot of people have argued the fact that possibly not having it in as a regular aircraft is kind of a waste of development time. You'd be correct, but do we have much choice over it? Because if we are to have it in-game as a regular aircraft, one, it wouldn't be able to be a premium because they have already stated they do not want to have tier 5 premium aircraft. And two, well, everyone will moan about it. I mean, yes, considering the payloads that it's possible, I showed in my Duxford video the stat cards for it. It came into service in mid-1950s, top speed is around 640 miles per hour, payload 21,000 pounds. 21,000 pounds isn't that much more than the bomb load that the Lancaster carries at the moment. I mean, I believe at one point, please do correct me if I'm wrong, but the Year 2 had a bigger bomb load than that in arcade at one point during the game. So, bomb load is fine. Top speed? It's okay. You could catch it in a dive with a MiG-15 easy. But gameplay wise, would it work? Well, yes and no. It would in an aspect that it would add a new tier 5 jet bomber to the game above the Canberra. But the thing is balancing. It's all well and good having an Avro Vulcan in the British tech tree. It is an extremely iconic aircraft, and I'm pretty much sure any Briton that watched this will say yes, bring it in game. But for the rest of the world, they're kind of contradictory over it. You see, the Avro Vulcan is a fantastic aircraft. It would be amazing to have it in game, as it hasn't actually been modelled properly in a game. Period. There's been mods for things like Flight Simulator X and Arma 2 and Arma 1, but there's been no dedicated development team or game development team out there that has decided to actually take up the task of creating this thing. Now, the whole idea with the pack was that possibly we sell it for a pretty high price, because an Avro Vulcan, it's more of a memorable thing. So the idea behind it was to bring it in game as a memorial aircraft or a tribute pack. Whether that means that you get the Vulcan, some gold, some premium, decals, a few missions and you can use it in custom battles. That was kind of what we were generally going at, and the kind of cost we were looking at was between £20 and £50. In US dollars, that's probably around 35 to 70-ish US dollars, and euros, it's not going to be much more than pounds. But we would like to have that, but the problem is there's a lot for it, but it's the things that are against it that are stopping it coming in. Mainly, the developers have already said they do not like the idea of strategic bombers coming in game. The Canberra doesn't count as one because it's kind of like a... I mean, I'm no expert on aviation. I know aircraft, but I don't know their purposes, so please excuse me. But the Canberra in game currently, the B-57 and the B-2 Canberra for the RAF. Now, you could count them as, you know, strategic bombers, because they're bombers that are jets and they bomb strategic targets. That was their design. But it's not quite nuclear, is it? The Avro Vulcan was originally designed as Britain's nuclear deterrent against Russia in the Cold War, or any enemy in general, really. So it was originally designed as a nuclear bomber, but could have the payload of 21,000 pound bombs. So yes, it can come in game. Top speed, not too bad. As I said previously, a MiG can catch it in a dive. But you have the problem that, as I said, balancing. What are, you know, Germany, Russia, Japan, US going to have to balance that? We're looking at things like B-36s, Tu-95 Bears. It's not something we want. If this is going to be brought in game, currently, in my personal opinion, it should be brought in as a premium pack for custom battles and not flying use only. If the developers want to take it into their own hands and make it an aircraft to go online, that's up to them. But what progress has been made is this baby right here. This is the Avro Vulcan modelled in War Thunder's CDK editor. Now you're wondering how we've actually managed to get a hold of this. Well, a really nice guy called Kirkwood on the forums got it donated and got all the licensing rights for it from his friend who did it as a work project. So not only does this actually mean we've already got a Vulcan net ready to come in game and ready to be developed on, this also means that we have the option of possibly testing it if we can find the right people to help model and create a flight model and design it to bring it in game as an actual add-on aircraft. If we can manage that, we can conduct tests to see how it would actually perform in game. Now I understand this is a massive task and it takes a lot of time and effort to do these sort of things. But if we do manage to find the right people that can help us with this sort of stuff, we may have a working Vulcan testing and playing around with, tweaking slowly to give something to the developers to show them this is what we could do, it's possible. So we do have already a lot of footing in this entire thing. I mean, I've gone all out. I've actually contacted the guys that own the Vulcan, XH558. They follow me on Twitter, and I also know got in contact with the people that actually run the Bomber as well on Twitter. I've spoken to them both about what we're trying to do here, and they're in support of it hugely. They like the idea of this of the Vulcan being brought into War Thunder as a possible tribute pack. I've told them nothing is set in stone because this is just an idea at the moment that we're trying to get pushed forward. But they like it, so we've already got backing from them guys over it. So things are going in the right direction. But that's essentially all I've got for you at the moment. I will keep you updated on what is going on with the Vulcan stuff. I will continue to push it forward as much as I can because it would be really nice to see the Vulcan in game. I'm sure a lot of people will agree. It is a very iconic aircraft, and this pack is for an absolutely fantastic cause, trying to restore and save the last flying Vulcan to try and keep it flying for a little longer. So yeah guys, without further ado, I'll let you go. Please drop a like on this video, comment on your thoughts in the description below. If you're reading this or watching this on the forums, feel free to comment +1 the thread. Take care guys, I'll see you next time.